I'm going to be going over the delineations of what day of the month somebody's born. You could be born on the 1st, the 2nd, the 9th, the 10th, the 20th, all the way up to the 31st day of any one of the 12 months. And the day you're born is even more important than what sign you are born in, whether you're a Pisces or a Scorpio or an Aquarius or a Leo or whatever, is significant, but it's even more significant what day of the month you're born. It gives you a certain nature and disposition. So I wrote out a chart and I'll be explaining the chart as I go along. And it's good to keep this in mind. As soon as you see what day of the month somebody's born, it opens up a world of knowledge and information. And it also goes along with the name analysis situations, which I teach also. So it's very important to note the day of the month somebody's born, their disposition or their nature, and what letters it brings into people's lives as a first, middle, or last name of people that are associated with in a major way in their life. So I'll start going over these things at this point. Now, when you talk about sun people, you're talking about people born on the 1st, the 10th, the 19th, or 28th day of any month. And the letters that are associated with this is the 1st, the 10th, which is A or J, and the 19th, which is S. And of course, there's only 26 letters in the alphabet, so the 28th doesn't relate to a letter. But sun people have a leadership quality, but a sunny disposition. Usually, they seem to be very bright and energetic people. They seem to be sharp, at least mentally, if not physically. Now, when people are born on the 2nd, 11th, 20th, or 29th day of any month, they're considered moon people. They're very emotional people, and they usually have very prophetic dreams. They're very insightful when it comes to people and people's personalities and the way they act or behave. And the second relates to people who are born, who have the letter B, and the 11th is K, and the 20th is a T. So they would draw people with the letter B, K, or T in their name. Now, the B relates to money and emotional conflicts in their life. The K relates to privacy and also being very intuitive. And the people that are in the limelight with the public, or if not acknowledged in some way. And the 20th is a spiritual person that has an awakening in their life. A lot of times relationships with people born on the 20th, they have plans that are long range and long engagements with people. Now, people born on the 1st, the sun people, are very independent people, and the 10th, it usually relates to people who are known for what they do, like Joe the barber or Jill the dancer or Ed the bartender. They're known for what they do. And the S people have something to do usually with groups of people that they're in front of. The 28th day of the month relates to people that have issues in their life about trusting other people. So you have sun people, moon people, and then you have the Jupitarian, which is people that are have to do with the planet Jupiter, and they're born on the 3rd, the 12th, the 21st, or the 30th of any month. And the third is the third letter of the alphabet is a C, and the 12th letter is an L. The C has to do with activities. The L has to do with sacrificing one's plans to the plans or problems of other people. And the people with the L initial have to watch about not being sacrificed to the plans or intrigue of others. And as an example, the 12th card of the tarot is the hanged man. So they have to watch about not being sacrificed. And the 21st has to do with the world. When you see the 21st card of the tarot, it's the card of the world, one who has met and overcome the trials and tribulations of their life. And the 30th relates to someone who has grown above other people and they just detach from other people. And they're usually very creative but detached people. And Jupiter relates to pride and action, and we call them Jupitarians, but their main planet is Jupiter, which again is the 3rd, 12th, 21st, or 30th of any month. Now, Uranians have to do with the planet Uranus, and that's the 4th, the 13th, the 22nd, or 31st. They're usually very regimented, organized people, but at the same time, they're usually misunderstood. It's not considered a fortunate period to be born with because often they get misunderstood, and they're associated with the sun. So the sun's usually written 1-4, like I have here, 1-4 with a small 4, which is associated with Uranus. Uranus people are very regimented, they're very organized, they're very dictatorial in some ways. The 4th has to do with people that are either very close or very far from family situations. The 13th usually causes somebody to move or change place very often. The 22nd has to do with somebody that when they get a little older, they realize their mistakes, but there's nothing that they can do about it. The 31st has to do with somebody that's self-contained and they're cloistered or isolated in some way from other people. And then when you talk about the Mercurian, who's born on the 5th, 14th, or 21st, 23rd of any month, and they're dictated by the planet Mercury. And now the 5th is somebody with an E letter, like the name Eddie or Edith or Eileen or whatever. Uh, and then you have the N letter, which is somebody that's picky and fussy, and they deal with the public. They're out in front of the public in some way, but they're very picky, very touchy type of people, and they juggle their activities very often, which is the 14th card of the tarot, which has to do with the juggler, somebody that juggles things. And then you have somebody born on the 23rd, which relates to the letter W. They're usually protected by people in high places and admired by people, bosses, managers, supervisors, or people above them. But they're very prideful people. And then you have the Venetian, the people are related to the planet Venus, which is people born on the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th of any month. And it relates to the letter FOX. F for the people born on the 6th. They're usually friendly, but not close with people. And people born on the 15th, which is the O, and this was considered the devil card of the tarot because they're good at getting favors from other people and they're very good at negotiating. And then you have people born on the 24th, which is people who are associated with well-known or important people. And they're called Venusians, the planet Venus. Now, when you take a Neptunian, which is the planet Neptune, they're usually a little bit spacey people. They're into themselves. And people see them as being distant people, but actually they're not distant. They're always dealing with their own internal issues. And those are people born on the 7th, 16th, or 25th day of any month. And it's a letter G, P, and Y. The G has to do with people that are usually get into situations that they're busy or not, or they deal with supply and demand. The P has to do with people that are want peace in their life, even if they have to fight for it. And usually there's some detachment with some male in their life, whether it's a father, a brother, a child, a grandchild, whatever. And the 25th relates to people with the Y in any place in their name, whether it's a name like Cindy or Kathy or whatever, or let's say Yancey or any name with a Y in it, whether it's a first, middle, or last name, or it's in the name prominently. And they're associated with actually the moon. The moon is 2-7, which is associated with Neptune, because actually the moon and water are very associated. And then you have people born on the 8th, the 17th, or the 26th of any month, and that has to do with the planet Saturn, and they're considered Saturians. They're usually very studious. They can have melancholy. They can get very depressed at times, and they believe in justice. If you look at the eighth card of the tarot, which has to do with January Capricorn people and February Aquarius people, you see a lady with a scale in her hands, and she's always trying to weigh things, and it has to do with justice. So those people are always looking for justice in some way. And the letters that relate to them are the H, Q, and Z. H has to do with money or financial matters and pure justice, as I described. The 17th has to do with one who has met and overcome the trials and tribulations of their life and their career. And it also has to do with somebody that has too many irons in the fire. And sometimes these people are studious people who investigate things, whether it's in their work or their career. The 26th is a very lucky person, and they get caught up in reorganizations in their life, and they have the lucky Z, which is the 26th letter of the alphabet. The last one is Martians, and that's the planet Mars, and it's people born on the 9th, the 18th, and the 27th. Now, the 9th has to do with self-identity, and I should have put it down. It's the I letter, which is the 9th letter of the alphabet. The 18th has to do with somebody that has to learn to trust their own mentality, and it's associated with the letter R. And the 18th, if you look at the 18th card of the tarot, it's like the dark side of the moon, and the person has to avoid confrontation and arguments in their life. And it shows like these wolves howling at the moon, so it's very important for them to have a peaceful existence. People born on the 27th stands for the scepter, one who eventually will wind up to be successful, and they'll get rewards from their own productive intellect. But those dates relate to Mars, which is basically Aries and Scorpio, whereas Saturians are January and Capricorn or February Aquarius. And Neptune has to do with their association with the moon. And just to go back a little bit, the Sun people are August or Leo people, as well as February or Aquarius, where the moon is July or Cancer. And the Jupitarian has to do with March or Pisces and December or Sagittarius. The Uranus are the ones that are associated with the moon, and Mercury has to do with June or Gemini people, and also September or Virgo. And Venus has to do with Taurus, May or Taurus people, and October or Libra people. So we've covered all the signs and the day of the month, and I hope this information will make somebody understand how important the day you're born is, even more important than the month you're born. But they're both important, but the day is absolutely more important.